I don't think we've actually spoken in person or otherwise about this
No,
project.
no, we've never actually met and chatted about this project in
No,
any way.
I was looking back through our messages. It was January 2022. I didn't for a minute think that it would be a quick project, but I didn't quite think 4 years.
The past 2 months have felt like they've lasted 12 years.
This
Yeah.
essentially kind of boiled out of the fact that I made Rob a birthday card about 8 years ago or something stupid.
I think it's about 2015, actually.
Yes.
Because it was before episode 3 was out. Rob showed it to me and I was like, well, that's uncanny. Like, how did you know what we were making?
Surprise! Happy birthday, old bean!
How did you get into like drawing and art and things like that?
Basically, Tintin. I think that kind of mixture of sort of pictures and story and stuff kind of coming together. It's never just the art. Sort of in a way, it's always the fact that it's going somewhere and driving something, and then a bit like I always really like the kind of interplay between when the script is telling you one thing, but the pictures are saying something completely different, which this one does in spades.
I was going to use a revolutionary new communication tunnel they're calling the Wesley wormhole.
Yeah, funnily enough, when you sent the first few drawings over, I did my first thought was Tintin style characters. It's that simplistic sort of the little eyes and the very simple facial features, but enough to be expressive and to convey the sense of who they were.
There's a book by Scott MacLeod called Understanding Comics, and it's got a really kind of good analogy around how when you sort of like, as you start to strip away the actual our facial features and start to stylize them and simplify them in a way that you can kind of like emote with them a lot better, because they're kind of they become almost like a kind of everyman face.
I suppose the other inspiration for this was sort of like Star Trek, the animated series, that kind of thing.
Yes, sci-fi TV show and animation, you end up in Star Trek the animated series.
How many drawings do you think you did?
It's 115, something like that.
Plus some extra ones that I did, plus all the computer graphics and pixel art and things like that. So yeah, it's quite a lot for 11 minutes. You worked in pencil and pen primarily, yeah, for this?
Is this the great big AI thing? Was any AI? Because I noticed when you put the description, you're like, did anyone use AI? Like, no.
But you still have all your original drawings.
There you go. So that's the big bridge one that did. And
oh wow, yeah.
Various forms that I did early on. So yeah, most of them are just done like that. And then some of the big panning ones, I just like literally sellotape loads of bits of paper together and printed them out. And then that's when I think the first Britannic one, I just tried to draw it freehand. And then I thought, what am I doing? Because there's perfectly good 3D models of the ship. So that's when I asked you for those. And then afterwards, they're still hand traced. They're never kind of done it, but I just printed it out in the poses and then kind of traced over it to make sure it always, because I always quite like it when it's got that hand drawn look, and I quite like the wibbliness of the lines. I think it just adds a bit more kind of like immediacy and naturalness to it.
I did have a bit of struggle now and again colouring some of it in, either because I didn't know what something was. I remember a few times I went to you and said, "What is this? What colour should this be?" And you're like, "Oh,
I know,
it's just a thing."
I just moved my hand across a paper. I don't know.
I took your lines and then sort of pasted them on a transparent and then made them properly black so that I could draw behind them. So that I'm colouring behind the lines. I just block them out. And then once I've got the colour blocks, I can select the block and just shade it, and then do another colour and just shade it. And
yeah. Well, you're very quick. So when you approached me about it and then said about doing a kind of comic book thing, my thing was immediately to go into like motion comics. I'd seen like some. Apart from obviously the beginning of Grange Hill, which I think is probably people's earliest kind of motion comic of the banger on the thing.
The banger on the fort,
And then the way that you've done that and you've treated it in that thing where sometimes it goes into the comic page and sometimes it comes out, and you sort of I didn't want it to be too static because that's not very interesting to watch, basically. And then also going on to the Star Trek animated series one, what I really liked about that as well is that, like, for some kind of unknown reason, they felt really compelled to make the original, like, short cutscenes of the Enterprise flying around a planet, and then just to recreate them in animated and then reuse them. That's why I kind of purposely only ever drew one planet, and then you had to basically color it in different colors every single time. I wanted that kind of recycled look about the whole thing as well.
I did a storyboard, sent it to you, and then you basically improved on it in every way. The visual gags and things that I just never would have thought of, you know, like the bit with the chessboard turning into the engine room. With night, where the night was, and all the different people. It's just genius.
There you go. Right? That's how I did the chessboard to make sure it was right on the thing.
Oh wow.
In the very opening scene when we're kind of going down through the decks as well, that chance to see bits of the, you know, bits of stuff that you could never see in the show. The gymnasium with the weird kind of sport game that Riker plays with his dad.
Yeah, and Anbo Jitsu, I think it's called.
Yeah, and then going into, I mean, the pile of rubbish as well is obviously
the pile of rubbish is the big one for the Easter eggs, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk us through some of the things that are in there?
So you've got Robbie the robot from Forbidden Planet. He's in there. You've got the Genesis device that's hanging around in there. You've got an old 386 computer in there. You've got a section of my old car in there, which is an old Ford Orion, that's kind of hanging around in there too. And then when it goes through into the imaginary version of his office, which is super powerful and that sort of stuff. So that's when you get the 3D Game Boy on the stand, and then also the Power Gloves kind of sitting over there as well. So all the just nerd classics. I just tried to whatever I could fit in there.
There were some Easter eggs as well that I put in, the 2 video game posters. One of them, the Final Fantasy one, taught me strangely enough that if you want something that looks like a Final Fantasy logo, just find some photos of some birds fighting each other.
The bit with you in it, was that shot specially, or is that?
Yes, it was. That was we shot that in 2021, and that was filmed at the same time as we did the previous webisode, the young Logan webisode.
Nice.
And I just had to use whatever footage I had of Tim, because that is from it's got to be 2011, I think, that footage of Tim.
Well, the joy is with animated stuff, obviously you could look like that forever, and no one would ever know.
Yep.
I said, are you ready? No, that's not it. It's, are you listening? I said, are you ready? I'll do that again. Sorry. I said, are you ready? No.
This is ground control to Major Tom.
Wesley singing the theme tune.
Oh yeah.
I just thought that was brilliant.
Do you know what? I think Tim's done such a good job on the voice acting on it. When I heard the recording back of it, I thought that's genius. He's done such a good job of doing it badly. I mean, I hope he's intentionally doing it badly.
He did it without music, actually, when he was singing it. And I said, you want the backing track on headphones or something so you can get the timing? And he went, no, I'll just do it. And he did actually do it too fast. It's completely out of time. So to make it work at all, I had to chop it up and speed up the backing track.
Gosh, really?
Being cut off from Earth is a bit. It's because you're filming me. I can't do that. Well, the name's not important.
There's no big posh at the end there.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Sorry.
Do we redo that bit?
Even Jet Logan thought I don't know what he thought.
There's something in between a huh and an in.
Huh?
Honk. Honk.
What?
I think the thing that I struggled with initially with the story was this sort of contradiction between it being Wesley's telling a story that the story he's telling isn't true, but the story that it's showing also isn't true. So you've got what actually happened, then you've got the visuals of Wesley's version, and then you've got Wesley's story, and none of them are the same.
But then I think as it goes on, is sort of the visuals kind of slip into the fantasy land as well.
Absolutely,
so, to the extremist point when the giant cannon appears out, which I think is like
Do you know what?
That was your thing actually kind of putting in there, and I really liked it.
Yeah, because I drew it, I just thought, oh, I'm sure he'll come up with something better, like a fancy science fiction gun with coils and things like that. I'll just do a cannon, that'll do. And then you went and did a cannon.
I loved it though, because I just thought by that point we've left reality far behind. So yeah, why not have a cannon which is larger than the ship, and also kind of a giant kind of Acme cannon. I'm still quite sad that we never ever got a chance to show the extra lift doors that go nowhere.
That's an homage to the animated series.
Yeah, where they added an extra turbo lift that could never possibly be on the ship.
Just a door to nothing. Like,
exactly,
it's impossible.
You'd be sucked into space if you went through it, which if it could get away with the visual gag where that happened.
Well, thank you very much for all your hard work on this.
Oh no, it's been a pleasure. It's been nice fun working on it. And,
how is it to see the finished thing like now? Is it how you imagined it more or less when I first came to you with the idea?
I'm really pleased with it. I think it looks really nice. I think you've done a great job as well with the kind of the editing it all together, the amount of effort you've had to put in with getting Tim to sing in time.
We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
I think it's probably the funniest thing we've done for Fallen Star. And it's interesting because it's not like anything we've done before. Very, very different, but really, really good. I'm very proud of how it's come out, and I think it looks really good.